I'm Sandy Powers. I am a mother, I'm a grandmother, I am a daughter, I am a friend, and I'm a life coach. And I believe within every single person is a brilliant light that will guide your life.
Hey mommy, you know where you are, mommy. Hey mommy, you know where you are, mommy. She walking so fast, she walking so fast.
What changed my life? When my mom died. She was diagnosed with cancer and given 1 year to live. She ended up surviving for 7 years. How I handled everything in life, it's like everything that I had suppressed, like all my own wounds, all my own issues, I'd kind of buried. And then when my mom died, everything blew up. I needed to change my life, basically. One day, just a couple months after she died, I came home from work and the sun was shining. I'll never, ever, ever forget that day. And I went to the mailbox and the sun was coming over this shoulder. And I opened up the mailbox and this postcard was in the mailbox. I was getting my mom's mail forwarded and it was from a friend of hers that didn't know she had died. And on the back it talked about the circle. And it said, in all Indian cultures you'll find the image over and over again. You find it in the dances, the art, the shape of the lodgings. But more important is that the circle is the basis of American Indian beliefs, that everything is connected to everything else, and all people and nature and the maker. And no matter where you go or who you become, you are still part of it all. And that cannot be ignored, never. And when I read that card, I felt like my mom was reaching out from heaven and saying, we're still connected. And I just started crying at the mailbox, and this sunshine was coming down over my shoulder. I felt like this was a special gift from my mom. We were sitting there at dinner and I brought it out and I said, I want to show you guys something. And so I brought this out and I said, this is a postcard and I think it's a message from Grandma. And I think she's telling us that she's still with us no matter what. And Ryan, who was 10, said, well, Mom, look at the living room ceiling. Grandma's here. And we looked up, and here was the same image right here, shadowed on the ceiling. And then he just went, I'm going to go play now. And Desiree and my husband, Joe, and I just like looked at each other. The image was gone. And it was like, what was that? Where did that come from? Why did that show up and all of a sudden it's gone? And then everywhere Joe and I went was the circle. The same thing. We were in an airplane, we looked down, and in this crop here was this circle with the same image in it. We went just everywhere. And I kept thinking, what's my mom trying to tell me? What is this circle? And so I'm not Native American, I'm Scottish, so I didn't have any clue what any of this meant. But my cousin, who is married to a woman from the Squaxin tribe, said, hey, do you want to come to a powwow? And I said, sure. And so we went to this powwow, and there was this motorhome with an awning, and standing next to the awning was this same image. So I went over to the gal and I just said, what is this? Can you tell me what this is? And she said, it's a medicine wheel. And I said, what does that mean? And she said, here, you need to read this book. And so I got the book and I stayed up all night reading this book thinking, I know my mom's trying to tell me something about this circle.
All around town. Hey mommy, hey mommy, I know where you are, I know where you are, I know where you are.
It's like the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual journey that we're all on. I felt like my mom was saying, Sandy, for 7 years, you walked this circle with me. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I was given 1 year to live, but I survived 7. And I did so many things in all those areas. And I feel like you are to take the knowledge that we gained and do something with it. I didn't know what I was going to do with it. But I thought, wow, this is powerful. I've been seeing this image, I've been seeing that. I said, I'm going to quit my job. And he's like, okay. And he just loves me and trusts me and whatever. And so that's when I decided to quit my consulting practice. And I opened up a alternative healing bookstore down in Edmonds called Grandma for Grandma, Medicine Wheel for the Medicine Wheel. It was a place where people came and gathered and educated themselves on different things, because there's always more than one way to anything. There isn't, you know, if you just are stuck in one way, like they told my mom, go home and die. You know, we have nothing else for you. And so that medical community did the best they could based on their education, based on everything, but then we tried all this other stuff, and she survived 7 years. So I was really super excited about this. And so I was on the Kingston ferry boat. This was just before our grand opening. I was coming back from Kingston to Edmonds. The sun was shining again, and always when I feel the sun over the shoulder, I feel like it's my mom's saying, I'm here with you. So I'm there on this ferry, and I'm right in the front, and the wind's blowing. It's so cool. And I'm by myself out there, and then this big bear of a man comes out, and he stands right next to me. And I said, I'm opening up a shop down in Edmonds, and it's called Grandma's Medicine Wheel. I was so excited. And I said, here's my business card. I hope you come to the grand opening. And he just looked at me, and then the ferry went, you know, and I said, okay, bye. And I left. Then a couple years later, at my shop, in through the front door, comes this man, this big bear of a man. I forgot who he was, but he has this big stack of books with him. And he comes up to the counter, and he sticks these books on the counter. And he said, you don't remember me, do you? And then all of a sudden it clicked. That was the man. Well, come to find out, his name was Chief Roy Wilson, and he was the spiritual leader for the Cowlitz tribe. And he traveled everywhere teaching the medicine wheel. And so I felt like here was another sign. Why are all these things coming together like that? You never know what will change your life. One little postcard, one statement, you read something, you hear something on the radio. It's like when we pay attention to life, we are being guided, I believe. If we get out of our head, get out of all of our thoughts, and listen to our heart, I believe we're being guided. So that postcard changed my life and got me into doing what I was doing. This one lady came in and she said, you know, you need to start a group. And I'm like, well, I can't. I don't have that education. So that's when I went back to school to become a life coach. But people would always come in, and the only thing that I could offer them, which is really the only thing we can offer anybody, is just to listen. Not to share our wisdom. Nobody wants our crazy wisdom or opinion. But what they want is to be heard and understood. There are so many little miracles that happen, and I'll just share one. One day I'm in the shop, and this one lady comes in. She stands in the middle of the room, and I said, can I help you? And she said, I was sent to see you. I was told to come and see you. And I said, by who? And she said, Catholic Community Services. And she had her face, you couldn't read anything on her face. It was like, you know, you can't read emotion, you couldn't read anything. And I'm like, oh God, what's going on? And so I said, oh, okay, well, come on over and sit down. And then she told me that her mom was dying. And she said her mom is in the last stages of dying, and she just doesn't know what to do. And I kept thinking, oh gosh, what can I tell her? What should I say? What should I give her a book? What should I do? And then I got quiet. I just got out of my fear. I took a deep breath, and I just shared my story about my mom. And I shared, you know, what I did and how it went. And I don't even really know what I said. And then she said, well, I've got to go. And the whole time she had no emotion on her face. So I didn't know, did I hurt her feelings? Did I say the right thing? What did I do? And she left. Well, later on in the day, the phone rings. I pick it up. No cell phones back then. And I pick it up, and she said, hello, I'm the lady that came in earlier. And I said, okay. Didn't know like what you're gonna say. And she said, when I got home, the priest was here. from my mom. And I told him what happened when I was with you. And he said, "You're very lucky." And she goes, "I just wanted to tell you that." And I started bawling my eyes out. In fact, I could cry right now, because it was like, it's like when we can get quiet and listen and not be afraid to speak what's in our heart. You know, we are guided. We don't know. It's not up to us to know the answer. What it is up to us is to have the courage to risk and do and say what we feel in our heart. And so it changed my life, really. And when I started doing groups and I started having people come to me, and basically the main thing that I feel that I work with folks is to remind them how amazing they are. Just to remind them that they have this inner light in them, and that they may have had these experiences in life that have fogged their memory. And I'm like a big flashlight. And I'm just like this person that will just keep holding this flashlight and saying, look within your heart, the answers are there. A lot of people remain a victim, not because they don't have it within them, but it's because they've been so squashed down from their life experiences that they forget who they are. They forget they have unlimited strength, unlimited courage, unlimited love and peace and joy.
She rocked the back, she rocked the back, she rocked the back. Oh, she don't know how she goes.
And women need each other. They need to be inspired. They need to be shown how to risk and to be vulnerable. And trust me, when you are vulnerable with a friend, it creates a safe space, and then they can be vulnerable with you. Because we need each other. We need to support each other. We need to shine our lights. And that's where our strength will come. Always gather around you, even if it's one person, one other girl, one other woman, that you can actually be you and be vulnerable with. Your life will change. The best parts of you will continue to shine and shine and shine. But we need each other. Never, ever, ever think this is a solo gig. It's not. Being solo will create a wall. Tear down that wall. Be vulnerable. Find one or two people in your life that you can really be real with. And then continue to shine your light so that other women can see. Being vulnerable is a strength. It's not a weakness. And when we can share from our heart, we grow. We grow, we grow, we grow. And we all need each other.